Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
See you later.
You okay? Hey, I'm gonna start an interview here in a minute, so if you can.
Hey, Spencer.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good.
Good.
I appreciate you meeting with me. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I got you loud and clear.
Good.
Um,
Well, good.
Are you in Idaho then right now, or are you
Yeah,
somewhere
so
else?
I'm in Idaho. I was in Seattle last week, but yeah, I'm back home. So
Cool. And then, yeah, well, so I went to BYU Idaho. My sister-in-law, who was just in here, went to BYU Idaho, and we were like, we didn't think that BYU Idaho professors did a lot of research. Like we did a little bit in agriculture when I was there, but
yeah.
it's cool. Like, how did that work? Is that why you had to like take a sabbatical so that you can do research like while you're not teaching?
Right. Yeah. In fact, they encourage us to do it every 5 years.
Cool.
I've been there 15 years, and the first time I did it, it was a joke, and it was kind of like I created a video for my class, and it was like really fluffy, but since then they've gotten very serious about it, and I've gotten serious about it, so that's why I'm doing this research project too. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Sometimes because I'm technically in the academic success department, and so we deal with developmental learning with tutoring center and stuff like that. And so a lot of our research, um, it's not as concrete as like biology or social science and stuff. And so sometimes we can get away with like a little fluffier one, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that this time. I really want to get in and make an impact. So
Yeah, cool. That's awesome.
yeah. Well, let me tell you a little bit about me and what I'm doing. So I am a professor at BYU Idaho. I teach public speaking and life skill classes. And my research project has to do with the it factor. Do you know what I mean by the it factor?
Like when someone just has it.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like they have it. I want them on my team. I want to be around them. I'll promote them. All that. And so I'm looking at that and how can we develop the it factor in all these students at BYU Idaho, so wherever they go, they really are making a difference in where they're at. And instead of it being, because I've heard from a couple people that I'm disappointed in BYU Idaho students, and I'm like, okay,
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, it's not a lot, but even the couple that I've interviewed, and they're like, oh, they were just lazy. I was like, dang it, because I know there's outliers on and everything,
Yeah.
but I'm like, all right, how can we instill in most of these this work ethic and stuff? And so I'm trying to find the it factor. What is it we need to be teaching and training these students to do so when they get out the workforce, they're making impacts like
Yeah.
off the bat. So, and I don't know what the answer is. I'm hoping that you could help me out with that with some of your answers.
Well,
And
I do love my answers. It's one of the things I work on the most. Like uh, Jim Collins said, lead with questions, not answers. And I'm like, I really like my answers though. So I've been working on leading with questions, not answers.
okay, good.
And I do have
Oh,
a lot
good.
of answers for you today still.
Oh, good, good. So I guess to start off, think about the best employees or best coworkers that you've had or been associated with, and have them in the back of your mind as you answer these. Because as I'm looking for the it factor, what is it, the ideal that would like to have? And so there's four stages that I'll kind of question you about: the finding stage, the interview stage, that kind of initial trial stage, and then the promotion stages of employees. And we'll see if we can come up with some concrete stuff. Um, so when you think about the best people that you have at your company, that you've hired, how are they first discovered and noticed?
Yeah. So my approach is like probably very different than most people, which the longer you know me, that won't surprise you. I try to do like the opposite of what most people do. It
Okay.
just seems like it works out better for me. And so here's how I would answer that question is like I believe that we find what we're looking for. And what I mean by that is like, and the most classic example that I use is that if you're going to purchase a new vehicle or, you're going to upgrade your vehicle. And so you start thinking about, I'm going to get a Ford Expedition. Pretty soon you see this Ford Expeditions everywhere. Like
Right.
you can't help but see them, right? It's just classic, right? I mean, it's out there in psychology and all this stuff. Like it's just very common. So, but it's the same with people. And so when I am operating from a place of like looking for people who stand out to me or who, in your words, like have it,
Uh-huh.
then I find them. And I find them in the weirdest places or the least conventional. So let me give you an example. So one time my dad was with me. We had gone pheasant hunting that day and we went to the grocery store on our way home and we were getting like asparagus and red potatoes and steak. And it was one of my favorite meals. And we don't see any asparagus on the shelf at Walmart, like in the produce section. And there's a young man over there that's unloading a box of something else. And I go over and I say, hey, do you know if there's any asparagus in the back? Or like if I'm just missing it, like is it maybe somewhere else? And he like pops right up, looks at me in the eyes, answers really clearly. And then when I said, okay, well, no worries, like thanks for your help, he says, would you like I can go check in the back though. Let me go check in the back. And I want to help you get what you want. And so, and I said, it's really not a big deal. Like we'll get broccoli or whatever. And again, though, his it factor was so apparent to me that as I wandered back over to another part of the store, I actually told my dad, I was like, I'm going to go back and talk to that kid. So I literally go back and find him. And I said, hey, do you love working here? And he's like, no. And I'm like, do you want to work for me? And he's like, yeah. And so I got his number and then I texted him 2 weeks later. And I just said, hey, I met you at the asparagus aisle in Walmart. Like, this is Matt. He's like, no way. I can't believe you texted me. And so again, like this doesn't turn into like some crazy story. He's not like my CEO or whatever, but just he did work for us. Like he provided value to us during a critical time when we needed his help. And it just came because like I was looking for people who show up differently, like who have like the it. And so then when I saw it, I was willing to take action and be like, hey, will you come work for me? And of course he doesn't want to be stocking shelves at Walmart. So he was all about it. So this is one example of like some of the unconventional ways that I have found people. Two of the people on our team right now that are just incredible humans. One of them is actually my sister-in-law. So that's kind of
Okay.
cheating, right? However, it's
Right.
also not, because how many people have a sister-in-law that would actually be awesome inside their company, but they're not looking for it, or they have limitations around like, well, that's weird, or that's too much crossover, or
Right. Or you don't want to work with family or something like
yep.
that.
Again,
Yep.
just
Just a
limitations that
second.
we create.
Just a second. Sorry. What's up? Oh, tell her to get off and go to clean her room. Sorry about that.
You're good. So another example, and sorry, I tell a lot of stories because that's just how
No,
like I learn and experience.
I love
Is
that because it helps me in trainings. Like, all right, here's
yeah,
some stories. Okay, perfect.
totally. So we moved to Wellsville, Utah, which is in Cache Valley,
Mhm.
about 20 months ago. And there's more to the backstory, like very abrupt, just like felt like these like pulls from God to like come back up this way. And we, went to BYU Idaho, so we would come visit here, and we always wanted to end up back here. And I say we, mostly I did. My wife didn't, and she agreed to come. And we sold our house really fast and moved into this house we had never been to, a ward we've never been to. We knew 4 people in all of Cache Valley when we got here 20 months ago. And there was this couple in the ward that we kind of got to know pretty quick, like just through interacting at church and stuff. And one day the wife texted us and was like, hey, can I come over? I want to ask you guys about your business, about LinkedIn. And we just talked for 45 minutes or an hour. And she left there and texted us later and was like, thanks so much for your time today. It was like really good experience for me. I don't even know what this means, but at some point I'd love to work together.
Mhm.
And then 18 months went by, and I'm starting this in-person type venture, and I need someone to do ops because I don't do ops. And I even posted it on LinkedIn, and then I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's Allison, like she's right there. It's her. She already said it. Like, we already know her. We already trust her. Like, we had this. So her husband is my first counselor and in Elder Square. So I called him. I'm like, hey, is this weird for you or for her? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, good. And she's been working for us for months now, and it's amazing. And again, though, like there's a lot of people that I interact with, but she has it. Like
Yeah.
she has it. And so those are a couple of examples when you ask me about how do I find people, it's I look for them. And I tell other people, like my clients, this all the time. Like, if you have eyes to see these people, you'll find them too. And people don't love to hear that because it's not like a quick fix. It's not like plug into Indeed, get applicants, hire, right? It's like you gotta like shift the way you're thinking, the way you're looking, your perspective or your view or your lens of the world and other people is a little bit different to do that. And that's just how I would answer your question. Like, for me personally, that's how I find people, is I just look for them and I make a mental
Okay.
note. And then sometimes it's much later. Like, I don't have anything for them right now, but much later it's like, hey, we're ready for you now. Come on
Yeah.
in.
Oh, I love that, Matt. That's pretty cool. Do you still take applications and stuff though?
Yeah, I mean, our team is pretty small, so like I can't speak to that a ton. However, some of my
Okay.
clients that I work really closely with, they do. So like I work with a lot of dental clinics, and they obviously, like, people and turnover, like it just happens. Like, it's a kind of transient job. It's younger people, they're like on a stepping
Yeah.
stone path to go to dental school or go to hygiene school. And so they do accept a lot of applicants. And when that's the case, Pat Lencioni talks about having a process in place and having your gut feel be a part of the equation. But if you only are process driven, you'll overlook people who are missing the it factor,
Yeah.
right? And you'll end up with hires that don't fit. But if you only have gut feel, you may also be deceived by your gut feeling and not actually thoroughly understand if someone's a good fit, even from like a logistical standpoint. Like, are they excited about the job? Is the job you're asking them to do something that they can and will do good? So
Right.
I encourage them to take that approach, where it's like we have a very clear process where it's like you do an interview, you do a working interview, you talk to all the team members that worked with them, and you get their opinion so that they're buying. But then you as the office lead, you got to go with your gut feel, which is what I teach them, is like this. Like, do they have it?
Yeah. Are there any qualities or skills that make someone stand out during that process beyond just their resumes or their formal qualifications?
Yeah, 100%. I frankly could care less about the resume and formal qualifications. for a couple of reasons. I think our whole system is actually shifting away from that as we go, and we can get into that maybe another time. That's just like one of my theories. And I also had my friend Richie Norton. Have you heard of Richie Norton? Does that name sound familiar?
I haven't met him yet.
Okay. Well, he's wrote a few books and he's wacky. Like when I first read his book, I'm like, oh my gosh, someone is as crazy as me, and like is publishing about it. So I've learned a ton from him. He's great. But he talks about a story that when he was young, he spoke somewhere and Stephen M.R. Covey heard him somehow and called him and asked him to come into his office and said, hey, we want you to be a part of what we're doing here. And Richie's like, why? Like, I literally am young and have no experience doing the thing you're asking me to do or like in this world at all. And he said, well, let me tell you something about experience. He's like, a lot of people confuse experience and don't understand that they actually only have 1 year of experience repeated 20 times. He's like, that's not 20 years of experience. And so just stories like that shift my perspective around experience, that like experience can be really valuable if you have especially if you have a technical type of role that needs someone to already know something, for sure. And I just believe that a lot of people have 1 year of experience repeated X amount of times. And so it's not actually an advantage that they've been doing it for 10 years or 15 years. In fact, it could actually make it harder to help them see a better way if they've been doing the same thing for 20 years in a row. So, so that being said, back to your question around like the qualifications or the traits, right?
Yeah.
And this is what, to me, it is. It's someone who has a way of being about them that is powerful. And I know I'm getting way like woo-woo here on you. And like, it's just, you asked and these are my answers. But it's like, I believe that who someone is being matters way more than anything they know how to do or have done. And what I mean by that is like, let me try to think of, well, I mean, even the guy at Walmart is an example of that. Like, I didn't care if he had ever done any of the things I was asking him to do. I cared about in that moment that I interacted with him, he was being present. He was being respectful. He was being like confident. He was being clear in his communication. He was being like just himself. And that to me is super valuable. And so if there's like one trait or quality that I could pick in anyone that I do business with or that I want to work for me, it's that. It's like a way of being that's powerful and that is intentional. And if we want to go a step deeper, I would say that those people, even if they don't like conscientiously couldn't tell you this, they know who they are and they love who they are, and they have like a understanding of their identity. And maybe I'm jumping ahead here, but in answer to your question, like how could you teach students or what could you teach them? The number one thing that a student could come away with that would benefit them, give them the it factor, make them the most attractive, is if they knew who they were.
Okay. That's so interesting because there's a theme here, and I won't tell you what that is, but you're right there. Like it. Anyways, I'll keep going on, and then we'll talk afterwards, just so I don't feed you answers. Are there any common reasons someone gets hired even when there are multiple qualified candidates? In other words, if there are two of them, it's like both of them are qualified, but this one stands up. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, for sure. And again, like it's kind of like weaves in and out, right? Because oh gosh, what's his name? Lindsay Robbins talks about be and do, right? The do matters, but not by itself. And so a lot of times you'll have two candidates and their being will stand out, but then also their doing that comes from that will also stand out. Like whether that's like their drive or their going above and beyond or their attention to detail, like all of that is doing, but that's coming from who they're being, right? And so there are some of those things, like I would say some of the other things that are maybe related to being, but I can splice out is like like their commitment level. So like just their energy and attention and intention around what they're committed to. That's huge. Their integrity. And I don't mean doing the right thing when no one's looking, because I actually don't believe that that's what integrity is. Like integrity is not a moral issue. Integrity is just one thing, and it's keeping your word. So like, do people do what they say they will do? If someone can't count on them, I can't count on them, right? And if I can't count on them, like that doesn't work, you know? And same with me, like I need to be someone that I can count on me and they can count on me. So those are a couple of things that I could splice out of that way of being and say like those really matter to me.
Oh, that's cool. Are there any gaps or signs that make you hesitant to hire someone, even if they appear qualified on paper?
Yeah, this is where like the gut feel comes in. Like sometimes I just get like, it just doesn't, like, let me put it this way. Their audio doesn't match their video. You with
Okay.
me? So
Yeah.
like they're saying all the right things. Their paper says the right things, but what I'm like experiencing, it doesn't line up. Like,
Mhm.
and that's something that's kind of like nebulous, like fuzzy, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that matters. I think that like teaching people to be aware of that as an applicant, but then also as someone who's hiring, I think it's important. Like, does what you're hearing from them, is it backed up or does it match like what you're experiencing them, right? If someone says integrity on their resume, dependable,
Mhm.
and then they're 10 minutes late to their interview, like that
It
doesn't,
doesn't make
it
sense.
doesn't make them bad. It doesn't disqualify them, but it has
Yeah,
you
right.
say like that doesn't match, right? Another thing is like I'm big on like 100% responsibility. Like I just have no room in my world for victimhood.
Okay.
Like my biggest thing in my business and in like everything I teach is like you always have a choice. Leadership is a choice. So like I I have a hard time getting on board with someone that's like all about someone else's fault, because it's just like that doesn't work. Like for you personally, like okay, like even if we put aside business, like that doesn't work for you personally. And so that would be a deal breaker for me is if I hear in someone's language again or in their video, right, that it's always
Mhm.
something else, someone else. Yeah, like that's not going to work.
Oh, interesting. Uh, well, let's see. I just get so involved with what you're talking about. Uh, so after someone's hired, what qualities or behaviors help them become a strong long-term fit for your company?
Yeah, this is like, I mean, so many people have studied this forever, right? I mean,
Right.
I spoke on stage at the same stage as a guy that wrote a book called like How to Never Lose an Employee Again. He
Mm-hmm.
also wrote like How to Never Lose a Customer Again. And again, like I think a lot of that stuff matters. Like, do you systematically have support, onboarding, training, all of that in place? And going back to our being and doing things, like someone could get all of that, but if who they report to doesn't create safety and trust, you can throw it all out the window. It
Sure.
doesn't matter, because they'll be looking for any reason to get away as fast as possible and go find someone or somewhere that is safe and where they can like actually have trust, even if they would never articulate it that way, which most people probably wouldn't. That's what's happening. And so again, if I have to boil this down to like what's the most important thing for retaining an employee, it's got to be safety and trust, followed by is there a clear standard, and is that upheld for everyone?
Mhm. Awesome. Uh, are there any skills or characteristics that separate, excuse me, employees who simply perform their task versus those that become strong candidates for promotion?
Yes, yes. So, and I love this. It's all about value creation.
Okay.
So if someone is in a role and they're just doing the thing, right? If we're trying to, right, they're just doing,
Mhm.
that can be great. That can work. That can accomplish tasks. That can like produce. But someone who is going to be like a future, like someone that I'm going to pour into to like really want to keep them around, not selfishly, but just like to keep providing them opportunities to grow and develop is someone that is focused on creating value. Like they're less concerned about their promotion than they are, am I creating value? And again, if you get into an organization with poor leadership, you'll be taken advantage of as a value creator, and so you'll want to get out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But also if you're in an organization with sound leadership and just authentic, powerful people, value creation will get you to a promotion faster than anything else. Like a focus on value creation, which is, am I creating more value than what I am taking in general? And that will get someone to a promotion faster in a healthy organization than anything. Unfortunately, politics will also get you to a promotion faster than anything in some organizations, but I tend not to associate myself with those.
Right. So what qualities, behaviors, or skills prevent people from being promoted even when they're technically good at their jobs?
Yeah, I don't know if I have as much like expertise or experience around that, but ask the question one more time. I think I have some thoughts.
Okay. So what qualities, behaviors, or skill gaps prevent people from being promoted even when they're technically good at their job?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like one of the things is like maybe this person is technically good at their job, but they don't have like an awareness and a willingness to connect with people. So like there's kind of like an issue with communication or drama or friction, right? Like this person could be technically really good at their job, but then every time you turn around, they're in some riff with another person. It's like that person's probably not getting promoted, like especially into leadership or management, right? Like that, and unfortunately that happens a lot, but like that wouldn't make sense to me to promote someone. Granted, in an organization that I was a part of, that person would be gone. But yeah, those are the things like that stand out to me, is like the people side of it, like the communication, interpersonal relationships. Like that's one of the things that if someone is technically really good at their job from a skill or technical standpoint, but if they're missing that, it seems like they would be less likely to advance, at least in a healthy organization.
Yeah, no, I get that. When you think about the people who you associate with that are successful in your organization or industry, what qualities, skills, or characteristics do they consistently demonstrate?
They care about people.
Okay.
Like I'm not to sound like a broken record here, but like they create safety and trust for people. Like they can talk to people, they can listen to people, they can support people, they can also have authentic conversations with people. I believe all progress in any relationship or business is tied up in conversations we're not willing to have. And so when you have a leader who or person who's willing to have conversations that everyone else won't, that's powerful.
Oh, that is powerful. Yeah, and especially if they can get a discussion going that says, all right, let's talk about the hard things, and they allow a safe space. Sorry, my phone's ringing. They allow a safe space that people can share their ideas and such.
Yep.
I don't know. Just a second. Here's my men's. Sorry, I don't know if you could hear the phone ringing. Apologize. All right, I've got one last question for you because I want to be very conscious of your time. If you were to go back to your 17-year-old self and you're looking at them and you want to advise them, they want to be hired, they want to succeed, they want to be promoted, they want to find success. What would you tell them to develop first and why?
Yeah, it would be identity.
Okay.
It's just when you know who you are, Satan's tricks work way less on you.
That's so fun.
And
Yeah.
and So let me give you a couple of examples, like speaking of 17-year-old stuff. And I can have a couple more minutes. Let me just text Brighton and tell him that I'll be a couple minutes late.
Okay. Yeah, because I'd love to get more insight from you.
So I played baseball when I was younger, and I just absolutely loved baseball. It was like the ultimate thing. When I got to high school, 14-year-old me somehow, thank goodness, realized that the crowd of people that was the baseball crowd was not going to help me get where I wanted to go in life. And like, that's sad in hindsight, because like I could have played baseball at a much higher level and would have loved to. I played basketball in high school, cleared through varsity, and again, like probably could have played, I don't know, maybe I'm just presumptuous or overconfident, but like I believe I could have played some athletic like sport at a higher level. Like even just from a frame and physicality standpoint, like I had what it took. But I never saw that. Like I never saw that in myself. And it's not because anyone wasn't believing in me. I had plenty of people believe in me, but I didn't believe in me. Like I didn't, at that time, I would say like shame was way more present in my life than I even knew at the time. And like I knew that I had potential. I knew that I had a bright future. And I also was really limited on what I thought was possible. I was really limited on who I thought I was and how powerful I actually was or could be. And so that's why my answer is that, like, to go back to 17-year-old me, and like if 17-year-old me knew this or saw himself this way, like that would have been really, really powerful, right? And so and it's all good, right? Because this has been years of uncovering and developing this. This isn't just like random affirmation from the internet.
Right.
So it's all good, but yes, that's my answer, is like when someone knows who they are and what's true about them, there's literally nothing that they can't do.
That's interesting. Because isn't that interesting that 17-year-old self, they're kind of pretty vulnerable. And I love that answer. In fact, Josh taught me a lot about that too. And I don't know if you're involved with what he's doing with the AMP program.
Yeah, so I'm one of their strategic partners, and I like coach and run calls inside their program.
That's so cool, because I see that all the time in my students too. Just to give you a little background, so I told you I teach study and life skills at BYU Idaho. It's a study course, but I always say, all right, yeah, I could teach you some tricks on how to read faster and stuff like that, but this is a life course, and I deal with a lot of the things you said today. And I love it because it just drives things. And so I'm going to ask your permission right now, because you said some things that I'm like, I want to use that in my class. So can I get your permission to like take snippets and say, okay, when we're talking about identity, let me show you what Matt said, and then pop that up. Can I do that?
100%. So one of the things I also believe, and look, I'm not perfect. I don't even try to be perfect, right? Like perfect means whole and complete. And I try to be whole and complete, meaning like I'm in integrity. I know who I am. And I'm also returning to who I really am quickly when I'm out of alignment, right? Like that's, so anyways, I'm not a guru. And I also, here's one of the other beautiful things that like hit me, and being a part of the Abundant Man has been fun because it's like a demonstration of abundance, is like nothing that I've said to you today is mine.
Right. Yeah.
I don't like claim any of it. Like, and yeah, I'm a vessel to like help people see it for sure. And I can like acknowledge that and step into that. But like God puts crazy things in my mind all the time and helps me see things. And then I've been blessed with the gift to go teach it in a way that people are like, what is happening? But it's like, cool. I love that. It feels really good to be like some, a conduit, but like none of it's mine. So 100%, anything I said today or anything else I have or have said or will say, you are completely welcome to use it without
Yeah.
ever thinking, do I need to get Matt's permission?
Okay. Well, and it's interesting. So now that you've answered all my questions, um, there are definite themes that are surfacing that I still need to define what those are, just kind of like what's the it factor. But a lot of it has to do with these soft skill uh, things that they have to develop that goes within themselves. Like I can't teach them. It's like, all right, first do this, this, and this, and then you're going to be successful. It's just like they've got to develop that themselves. And there's multiple of these themes that surface. When you talked about adding value, it's like, holy cow. And how do you teach that other than they've just got to desire that?
Yeah.
Like for example, I went and helped my in-laws this morning, and it was hot and it was hard work. But I also said I want to do my best work and I want them to be happy that I did, but that comes from within. It doesn't, it's like I'm just going through the motions so I can get a biscuit afterwards or anything like that. So yeah, this is great, great stuff. So, um, what questions do you have for me that I could, I don't know, if there's anything come up, or what can
I
I do for you, I guess.
Well, I don't need anything. Like, I'm grateful to meet you. I'm happy to support or contribute to what you're trying to accomplish in any way, whether it's just us talking or if you ever want me to come up there. Like, I would actually love nothing more than come back to BYU Idaho and get to like talk to students. We Since we moved up here, we haven't been up there. We're taking our kids to like see Rexburg in August. But it's just like so close now that I would love nothing more than to come up there. So if you ever see an opportunity or you're like, man, I'd love to have Matt come, feel free to reach out. Like, I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, I'm heavily involved with the alumni office when we do the Power to Become stuff, and so I'll have your name thrown in the list and stuff because I think the things that you guys are, and I say you guys, like all 35 of you that I've interviewed, there's something that you have value that if you could just come and say, all right, let's just sit down and let me look in the eye and grab your ears if I need to, and just say, you need to become and find your identity, because I think that's what they need. So
Yeah, for sure. If you ever want to bring, I don't know if you guys do field trips, if you want to come to build. So like we have built like a world-class co-working space and event center. So like everything you got from me today or sensed from my soul is now in a physical manifestation in Logan, Utah, and people can come here and experience it. And it's really, really fun. So if that's a thing, like you're welcome to bring people here anytime. Anyways, I just open doors, like you can come anytime.
Do you know what? Don't be surprised if I get a text and say, hey, I want to bring my employees down there, because I've talked about doing some training field trips with my tutors, and so don't be surprised if
it'd be awesome. And we could plan like a very specific thing for them, or you could just come check it out, or I'd be happy to talk to them when they come or whatever. Like it would be cool.
Okay. Well, I've got it marked in my memory right now. Awesome. Well, Matt, thank you so much. I guess one last thing, just like Josh did, I ultimately would love to interview 100 people. I think that's kind of my benchmark. I'm at about 35 right now. If there's anybody else that you think that I could benefit, like some of those people that work in the dentistry field and stuff that could maybe help with where the rubber hits the road a little bit more, I would love to get some of their contacts from you.
So I'll definitely connect you with Jacob Crockett. Him and I actually, we didn't talk about this a lot today, but him and I actually started a company 2 years ago specifically it's called Higher Aligned. And it was like, how do we use AI to actually understand how humans interact more to like align in the hiring process so that we don't run into these like misalignment issues later on the team.
Okay.
He's still in it. He's pivoted a little bit, but plus he's like, I mean, he's a bishop. He's hired a ton of people. He's one of the coolest humans ever. So I'd love for you to talk to him too. He'd be really, really good.
Okay. Oh, perfect. All right. Well, you don't have to send it to me now. I'll send you a follow-up here in the next couple of days and ask you for those. But I'll let you get back talking with Brandon. But
Yeah, no worries. I'll connect you with Jacob, and then what else was I was gonna say something else to you, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh, will you be around in August?
yeah.
Or I know that's when you're not in session or whatever, but
Yes, the only thing I have going on in August is my dad. He's 90 years old and he wants to do a family trip. So we're going to take him out and hit some of the church historical sites, like Nauvoo, Independence, Missouri, and those type of things
cool.
for a week in August. It's the August 15th to the 23rd. But then other than that, I'm around.
Okay.
So.
Well, I can't remember which weekend we're coming up there. It might actually be that one, but I'll check with you when it gets closer. I'd love to meet you in person when we're up there.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Great
All
to
right,
be
Matt.
with you. Thank you.
Save my contact because I'd love to stay in contact with you.
Yeah, reach out anytime.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
We'll see you.
Bye.